Hello everyone, Pius Cheung here. I'm the chair of the percussion area here at the University of Oregon. And we're here today to talk about two of the keyboard excerpts for the All-State audition. These are two of my favorite pieces, and we could spend hours and hours talking about these two excerpts alone. But I'll try to keep it brief today and offer some tips that may be helpful for you to prepare for your audition. Starting with, this is something I tell all my students, whether they're undergraduate students or master's students or doctoral students. I always ask them to number one, think about the character of the piece. What is the piece trying to say? And quite often it's an abstract feeling that can't even be put into words. That's why we're music, to express what words cannot express. But for me, I think it's important to first think about what this music is trying to convey, so I have something to strive towards as I make my sounds. So on the artistic level, that's one of the first things I've tried to figure out. On the musical level now, this is where it gets really complex with Bach, and we can just spend so much time talking about some analysis. But at the bottom of it, I think one good golden rule applies. It's sing, sing, sing. Always sing the music you're trying to play, and for percussionists especially, that helps us avoid the trap of hitting without thinking or just hitting notes without playing music. And simply, we can just start by looking at the score and singing the piece. Some of these instrumental pieces are kind of hard to sing, so we may not be able to get like correct pitches or anything. That's okay. We're percussionists, we're not singers. But I think it's more important to try to get the right enunciations, the right articulation, the right breathing, and the right phrasing, the general how you would speak something as a language. So for instance, this G minor. I'm obviously a terrible singer, but I think the intentions and the fluctuations all applies. So as I go to the instrument, I may, actually even before I start playing, I may just stare at the instrument for a little bit, and I may sing it, and I may visually eye the bars where I'm supposed to be playing. So for instance, so I have an idea of visually where things are supposed to go, locking in the visual with the physical and the oral. And then the next step, I may very well just play and sing at the same time. I obviously played some wrong notes there. Please excuse me about that. But this is a practice of musicality. And the last step, of course, I would just play without singing, but do not sing that loudly in your all-state audition because that will raise some red flags. Now, technically, how do we practice this? Slow practice, always. And sometimes I find dead stroke practice may help for accuracy. And especially for this excerpt in particular, I find it useful to musically and technically practice in sentences. So if we're looking at the music, we see a bunch of 16th notes. It can easily become like a run-on sentence, so to speak. But if we compartmentalize and make it more like speech, you'll discover actually commas and periods here and there. So it's more like a speech. This is kind of one semicolon or a period or something, and then we move on. And then so on. So this way, all these running 16 notes would be compartmentalized into little tiny phrases and little tiny sections that helps my brain and my hands process this a little bit better, and helps the music sound more like sensible speech. Now on to the G major cello suite, and most of you will probably be playing in this octave. You probably don't have the luxury of this beautiful bass register on the marimba. That's okay, it still sounds pretty good up here. So for this musically, I may try to focus more on the harmonic progression in this case. So these are the chords underneath those 16 notes, the sort of backbone of the music. For me, I find it's important to hear this in my ear and in my thoughts as I'm playing the music. So it's not just, again, a bunch of 16th notes. We could talk about so much more with this beautiful music, but I'm going to leave you with this here. And hopefully these would serve as helpful tips as you prepare for your auditions, and hopefully we'll see you around campus sometime.